Anyways, number one thing, art of questioning. You need to know the evaluation questions. That is the first thing you need to know. Do not start any question. Am I sharing my screen? So let me share my screen. I think at the end of the brown bag, we will share the results of the brown bag, of the poll. So this is my canvas. Yes, this is my canvas. Then evaluation questions. Boom. So what are the evaluation? So what are the evaluation questions? Some people on the next column, you have indicators, right? So what are the things that you want to see about the evaluation questions that you have here? What else should I do? I think I should insert my serial number on the side. So please do not just get on putting up a survey for your evaluation. No, it's not advisable. So you have your evaluation questions, you have your indicators, and you have your data source. So that means who are the people that can answer this question amongst the stakeholders you have identified, or what some people call the target for your evaluation, or what some people call the evaluand. So if that is one word you haven't heard before, I'm going to put it in the chat box. Evaluand. Yes. Let me see if it goes to everyone. Wait, this is kind of weird. Like, I can't chat into the chat box. Something is happening. Okay, but anyways, let me confirm again. Princess, please, can you see my screen actually, just to be sure that I'm presenting something?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Great, thank you for that. So, evaluation questions, indicators, data sources, then your questions. At times, we put the instruments. So, instruments. Instrument means, I don't want to go into a long spreadsheet. I would have put data collection method and also instruments, but I'm not going to do that. So your instrument means your questionnaire. Maybe it's an online questionnaire, or it's a self-admitted questionnaire, or it's a classroom admitted questionnaire. So your instrument can be your questionnaire or your interview guide. So you would know if it's a question that needs to go on your survey, on your questionnaire, or the one that is supposed to be on your interview guide. So then you have the questions, right? This is the act in a small way, and you, like we always say, please read further on some of our interventions with the brown bag. I mean, we are limited in what we can provide with timing, with access to resources, but this is just the little we can do. So you have your questions. So, so the questions are the questions that actually go on your questionnaires. That is what we mean. So question at times is like a question number. So question number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. But I mean, it will not necessarily be question number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, because question number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and what I'm trying to say is the introductory questions. I'm not talking about the introductory questions here. The introductory questions on your questionnaire are majorly about data of your respondents. First name, surname, if possible, optional, depending on the stakeholder that is responding, age category, gender, location, how the person has interacted with the program, did he join the program, when did the person join the program, 1999, 2000, 2001. I mean, all those questions that allow you to know who the respondents are. Now I'm talking about in this brown bag, I'm talking about the main questions that are related to behavioral change, that are related to the efficiency part of the question. So, so one way to do this, and that is what I'm putting there. So it might be maybe question number 10, 11, 12, 13, depending on how long your question is. So let's go back let's try and see if we can get any of our RFPs. Yep. So I have one open down here, which is, let's go. This is the UNICEF evaluation of the joint SDG program on institutionalizing social protection in Nigeria. Of course, most of us here might know what social protection is. These are social programs that are designed by institutions to provide for those that are the lower cadre in the society. So those we call the poorest of the poor. So, and you will see programs like cash transfers, you see programs like food vouchers, free food vouchers in schools, you will see healthcare vouchers, you will see free health insurance. So that was what this that's the program about this evaluation. So what you first need to do is check out the evaluation questions. So most requests for proposals will have it. But coming back from what we did last week, it doesn't mean that this evaluation question that has been proposed by the commissioner is what you would end up with. During kickoff meeting, in fact, as part of some RFPs, as an evaluator, you are required to review or make comments on the evaluation questions. Of course, you're limited as an evaluator, but I mean, you can think about the questions and the criteria and be able to make comments or review the questions, then finalize it. So I'm just using it for the purpose of narrating the heart of questioning that I'm talking about. So perhaps this wasn't the final one. And I'm not going to go back into evaluation questions. Like you can see here, all evaluation questions are put under each evaluation criteria, especially for evaluation that wants to use the dark criteria for evaluation. And this is actually using that in terms of relevance. So are the activities and outputs of the joint program concerned with the national social protection strategy and attainment of its objectives? So let's assume that this is the question we need to answer. I just put it here.
2-1.
Somebody is even watching soccer. I can hear 2-1. Okay, that is interesting. So evaluation question 1. I can just wrap this. So this is the first one. You need to ask yourself, what does this question mean? What do you want to see? Are the activities and outputs of the joint program consistent with the national social protection strategy and the attainment of its objectives? I can say, oh, I want to see evidence of activities in the social protection strategy. So there was a strategy, that is what it means. Evidence of activities in line with the social protection strategy. Data sources, I'm not going to go into that terms of reference. If I'm looking for evidence of activities that are in line with social protection strategy, who owns the social protection strategy? Who knows it? Maybe I can say the program implementers. Now I'm not going to be talking about the beneficiaries. You get my point? Maybe it's the program implementers that would know if the activities of that project or program is in line with the social protection strategy of the country. And that is why I will not go to the beneficiaries, because the beneficiary might not even know, and I'm talking about people that receive cash transfers and all the rest. They might not even know what, in fact, they might not have seen a copy of these protections or even heard about it before. So the people that would know about it might be the program implementers. So is there an instrument that I will use? Will it be the interview guide as one of the questions, maybe not on a survey that is meant for program implementers? Then you put in how you want the question to look like. For example, can you please tell us how some of the activities relate with the social protection strategy of the country? Something like that. By the way, questions go through reviews. Questions go through tests before you deploy them. So you and your team, or 3 members of those you would administer it to, need to test it just to make sure what you are even asking makes sense. So they can give you feedback like, oh, we think the programming member won't understand this question. Can you reframe or something? But I mean, this is an interview question. So, so you could, I mean, this could be a way to pose a question, especially for this activity and all that. I'm not going to go, I'm now 31, I'm now on 30 minutes, but I can still take a look at some of them. So these questions, you might name it, maybe it's going to be your question 11 on your question, but what we normally do is wait. You wait, you don't name it here. It is until you have all the questions. You then start putting in numbers for each one. So let me see if I can take another one, even if it is that I'll just explain it and not put in. Let's go to the same question. Let me go to something else. Let's look at this. This number 4 question on effectiveness, right? Put it here. This is evaluation question number 4. And what is in there? They said, what have been the major factors influencing the achievement of? By the way, before I move from here, you can have 3 questions from one evaluation question. So I only did this one for just a narrative. What have been the major factors influencing the achievement or non-achievement of program objectives in providing integrated services? Did any innovation or intended consequence arise as a result of implementation of the joint program? At times, we can recommend that is either we take this as another question, because I'm seeing two questions in one already. Major factors, and what I'll do is take this one out. So factors influencing achievement of the program. Or sources in the program, or I change it to evidence of the factors influencing, maybe changing behavior. If it is that cash transfer is given out for people to go to health facilities, perhaps something like that. Put it here. Who answers this? Maybe the beneficiaries. I can put it in a survey, and it can just be one of those questions that says, could you tell us how influential the community distribution officer was to you assessing using cash transferred to you properly. So you can then come with the, of course, I won't put the, but I'm just going to put something here, a very influential, not influential, so something like a 4-degree. Like I said, we are not into that here. This is not the scope of, but this is just the scope of. But ordinarily, we don't put the, so let me just remove it. We don't put this one here, actually. But I mean, if you want to do it well, like you just want to put your options, you can create a column, and of course, this is an interview guide. You don't put an option in an interview guide. This is a survey that has close-ended questions, so you can put your survey here. And you can jump on, and that is how you continue to create questions for each of the evaluation questions that have been agreed by you and your team or the commissioners. On this note, I'm going to stop and pause and put a halt to this presentation, or this quick, I'll just say a quick enlightening session on how to put together your questions. Because what then happens is that you will analyze responses to these questions to get a conclusion on this question. Like, oh, we found out that these were the major factors, and it includes, yes, the work of the community distribution officers, which was influential, which they said was super influential or not influential. So I mean, those are that makes, so result from the questions takes you back to the conclusion on the evaluation questions. And that is what your commissioner wants to see. Not you creating questions out of the blues that you can't link to the evaluation question. Very, very key and important for you to note. And I think the data sources also allows you. So one thing that might happen, you might find out that you have survey 1, you would have survey 2. So because beneficiaries might be diverse. So I just put beneficiaries here. If I say recipients, community recipients, if there are other beneficiaries, then you know to put it, I'll say cash recipients, for example. If there are other ones, then you need to put them, then the survey instrument changes. That's what it means. You can have survey. Some people put survey type. We can put type 1. Maybe for other category of benefit, you have survey type 2. So that means you're creating 2 surveys. Same thing with interview guide as well. Interview guide for program implementers. If you're going to interview another category, then you would have another interview guide. So on these notes, I'd like to pause at this moment and see if I have questions. We have gone 40 minutes. We have 20 more minutes for us to discuss questions, what you think. I mean, this is general now. If it's about the art of questioning, if it's about evaluation questions, if it is even about some of the key topics we have actually gone through in the course of the year, that will be super good to know and respond to within the next 20 minutes that we have. But before we proceed, Princess, were we able to get responses?
Yes, we have. I'm sharing it now. Please let me know when you can see it.
I'm seeing it too.
Okay, great. So I am the only one. So I think somebody had planned a coup for me. So I am the only one that cannot. Oh, is my video also shut down?
No, your video has been on.
But on my screen, it's telling me there's just something that is just super unusual, which I don't get. Okay, anyways. So what is the result? Because I cannot also see the result. Princess, can you tell us the results? Because I actually cannot see the results.
Yes, so we have 45% good and then 55% excellent. Out of 26 people, when it was shared, 20 people participated. Okay, someone also dropped it on the chat box.
Okay, so you guys have given us at least a whole lot of you have given us at least a good mark, pass mark on this. Like we always say, so we're preparing for next year, still 1 hour brown bag. We cannot do 2 hours at this moment. Please feel free to check on all other YouTube videos that we've created, over 40 of them, and we're creating more as we go on. So question time. Any questions on this? Any thoughts? Thanks for giving us over 80% at least. What? This is like at least 100% of those that responded actually gave us a good mark. Thank you so much, guys. But do we have questions? Let me see if anybody's hands are up and I can give you the floor. Oh, before then, but prepare to put your hands up, and I'd come back to that. Let me go back to share my screen. So, believe you me, if you're constructing an online questionnaire, like a survey, online questionnaire, please watch this video. I recommend it so much. Oh gosh. Okay, what I'll do is just, okay, they stopped me from sharing, but I'm going to put the link on in the chat box, copy, paste, but okay, to everyone, let me just, everyone in the meeting. So please check out Questioning Questions by Michael Quinn Patton. One of the thought leaders in evaluation. So he just did a video about questions and options, alternatives, or what you call alternatives. I think I strongly recommend that you look at it. Very, very important. If you put in your questions and your options. Some people just give people like 5 different options. Some people put neutral inside it, like, what? Well, they're not part of your program. So I mean, you can take a look at different ways you can put in your options, what true or false means, what yes or no means, what different categories of options means, like strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree, where you can put it and all that. That's